Well, a good long time ago, I had a office that looked out over a dumpster. And one day, I saw two odd styrofoam packages in the dumpster. So, being a curious sort of guy, I went and looked in them, and I found a TI 99 4A. This one, and also one of the beige ones, which are a little newer, kind of ugly actually. And I just thought, well, they're not going in the dumpster, so I picked them up. And my friend, who also had an office in that same complex, came by and I said, hey, guess what I found in the dumpster? And I told him, and he said, oh, yeah, I got rid of those this morning. So, so they've been sitting in my shop for a long time, probably the better part of a decade. And the other day, I just got a wild hair to see if they worked. So I had one power supply for the both of them, and I checked it out. It looked like it was okay. And there was no video cable, but there was a DIN connector with no back part to it. It was just the part that plugs in, and it obviously had been soldered, but there were no wires on it currently. So tested the power supply out. It was seemed fine. And I soldered up a cable on that DIN connector. I used some heat shrink and I just basically cut an old AV cable. So then you've got composite video and one channel of audio. So the problem becomes, how do you take that and put it into something like a monitor? I'm sure somewhere I've got something that'll read RCA, but it wasn't coming to me real quick. So what I did is I grabbed a RCA to HDMI adapter, and then the problem with that is I didn't really have an HDMI TV or monitor in a spot where I wanted to work on it. So I took the extra monitor, one of the extra monitors from my laptop. I have one of the laptops I can pull out the two USB-C monitors and have three monitors. Long story. And I've got an HDMI to USB-C cable. So the laptop is over here just to provide power, and then the adapter goes there and plugs into the monitor, and there is the TI 99.4 startup screen. So I don't have any cartridges or anything. It just has the basic. And the screen is really, I say the screen, the keyboard is really funky. There doesn't seem to be a backspace key, and lots of things are on function keys. So, like to make a correction, you have to hit function, arrow, function, delete, things like that. But the basic is actually pretty good that's built in. You can do tracing, you can edit lines, you can renumber lines. Um, but there was an extended basic. I don't have that one. And it works pretty well. It's not particularly fast. It does have a 16-bit processor in it, but architecturally, there's a couple of things that conspire to make it not very fast. Not the least of which was that the basic interpreter is actually interpreted itself. There's a like a virtual machine language in the ROMs there, and the basic interpreter is written in that virtual language, not in the CPU assembly language. So that's kind of funny. And there's a lot of, if you dig into this, there's a lot of other little architectural decisions that they made for one reason or another. Ah, see, I forgot to put an A in there. So I've got a backspace, backspace, backspace. Let's see, I haven't tried this, but I'm going to do an insert. How about that? And 30. Whoops, I'm doing it again. And you can hear the dogs very excited to see this demo. Go to 20. I should have done a for loop, but it's really hard to type and video at the same time. So this turns out to be a little easier. So just to give you an idea of the speed, you know, this is about as fast as you're going to go. And, you know, actually not too bad, really. But yeah, got to figure with a 16-bit processor, it could probably do a little better than this, even with the pretty slow processor and the slow architecture. So anyway, that's the TI 99.4. The little overlay here let you change what the function keys were. You see there's like a gray and a red dot, and it's hard to see, but there's a gray dot and a red dot. So the red's control and the gray is the function keys. There's also, I don't know what the yellow one does, but that's, I'll have to read up on that. Cartridge slot there. There's a little sidecar slot over on the side that lets you plug in different things. They had a speech synthesizer. They have a great big jumbo expansion chassis that takes cards and has floppy disks, and from what I understand weighs like 50 pounds. It's bigger than the whole computer. Don't have any of those, unfortunately. So, but I just thought you might like to see it go through its paces, and if nothing else, you can laugh at my Rube Goldberg video configuration. So, thanks for watching.